Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into something really key for anyone operating online. How to navigate the web using Taiwan proxy servers.
That's right. And we've got a specific piece guiding us today, an article called Top 5 Taiwan Proxy Providers Ranked 2025 Update.
Okay.
So our goal here is to really pull apart this source, figure out, what exactly are Taiwan proxies, why do they matter so much right now, and importantly, who does this article recommend?
And it feels super relevant, doesn't it? The source makes it clear whether you're trying to get at websites that are blocked outside Taiwan, or maybe gathering local business data, even managing social media accounts. Proxies seem to be the tool you need. Okay, so let's dig in. What's the fundamental idea here?
Okay, so at its heart, what a Taiwan proxy server does, it's basically an intermediary.
An intermediary.
Yeah, think of it like this. Your computer asks another computer, one that's actually in Taiwan, to do the web browsing for it. So, the websites you visit, they don't see your real IP address. They see a Taiwanese IP address instead. It masks where you really are.
Gotcha.
And the source is pretty clear. These IPs, they're either physically in Taiwan, or they're IPs that are properly registered to Taiwanese ISPs.
So my connection looks like it's coming straight from Taipei, maybe, instead of London.
Exactly, or New York, or wherever you actually are.
Now, the article mentioned different kinds of proxies. That seems important. What are the main types they talked about?
Yeah, that's crucial because, the best type really depends on what you're trying to do. The source breaks it down into 4 main ones.
Okay.
First up, residential proxies. These use IP addresses that belong to real homes in Taiwan, like actual home internet connections.
Oh, right, so they look really legitimate.
Precisely. Because they look like a regular Taiwanese person browsing, they're super authentic, much less likely to get blocked or detected by websites that are trying to sniff out proxies.
Makes sense if you need to blend in.
Exactly. Then you've got data center proxies. Now, these IPs come from big commercial data centers, also in Taiwan.
Okay, different source.
Right. And the big advantage here is speed. They're usually way faster than residential ones. Great if you need to do something quickly.
But there's a catch.
Well, yeah. They're generally easier for websites to spot as not being a regular home user. So the source says they can get detected or blocked more easily sometimes.
So speed versus stealth, a trade-off.
It often is. Then there are ISP proxies. The article kind of positioned these as a hybrid.
Hope so.
Well, they're hosted in data centers, so you get that speed advantage. But the IP addresses themselves, they're assigned by actual Taiwanese internet service providers.
Ah, I see. So they have a bit more legitimacy than a pure data center IP.
That's the idea. It's sort of a balance between the speed of data center and the perceived trustworthiness of an ISP assigned address. A good middle ground for certain things.
Interesting. Like getting the best of both worlds, maybe. What's the last type?
The last one is mobile proxies. Pretty straightforward. These use IPs that come from Taiwanese mobile carriers.
Like 4G or 5G connections.
Exactly. 3G, 4G, 5G. So your connection looks like it's coming from someone's mobile phone in Taiwan.
And that's useful for?
Well, accessing mobile-only websites or apps, or maybe testing how things look specifically on a mobile device from within Taiwan.
Okay, that range of types makes a lot of sense. And the article also mentioned something about Taiwan's infrastructure being pretty good.
Yeah, it did. It pointed out that because Taiwan has advanced internet infrastructure, these proxy services tend to be really stable and fast, often quoting like 99.9% uptime or even better, which is impressive.
Definitely speaks to reliability. Okay, so we know what they are. Let's move to the why. Why does the source say people need these in, 2025?
Right. The article lays out quite a few practical reasons, especially relevant now. A lot ties into how businesses operate online today.
I guess the obvious one is getting around geo-blocks, right? Accessing stuff only available in Taiwan.
For sure, that's a big one. Bypassing those regional restrictions for Taiwan exclusive streaming, news, whatever it might be. But the article really digs into the business uses.
Like what?
Web scraping and data collection. This is huge. If you need to pull lots of data from Taiwanese websites, maybe product info for e-commerce, tracking competitor prices, market analysis, proxies are pretty much essential. They let you send out loads of requests using different IPs, so you don't get immediately flagged and blocked for suspicious activity.
Right, you avoid setting off alarms. Lets you gather that local perspective data.
Absolutely. Which ties straight into the next point. price comparison and market research. Using a Taiwan proxy lets you see exactly what prices, products, or services look like to someone in Taiwan.
Yeah.
You're not getting the international version. Crucial for strategy.
Yeah, you need the real local view.
Definitely. The article also brings up ad verification.
Ad verification, how does that work?
Well, if you're running digital ad campaigns targeting Taiwan, you use a proxy to actually see how your ads are appearing to people there. Are they displaying correctly in the right places?
Ah, that's clever. Like quality control from the audience's viewpoint.
Exactly. And sort of related is SEO monitoring. Seeing search results on, say, Google exactly as a user in Taiwan would see them. You can't optimize your website for that market if you don't know how it ranks locally.
True. What else?
Other big ones mentioned are multiple account management. Think running several social media profiles or online store accounts for the Taiwanese market without linking them all to your single IP address. And, of course, enhance online privacy, just masking your real location.
Right. The basic privacy angle.
And one more for the tech folks, cybersecurity testing. Simulating what access or maybe even an attack looks like coming from a Taiwanese IP address. So yeah, it's way broader than just watching blocked videos.
Okay, that's a really comprehensive set of reasons. So given all these different needs, speed, stealth, ethics, whatever the big question is, who does the source recommend? What criteria did they use to pick the top providers?
Good question. The article didn't just list names, it talked about why. They look at things like the number and variety of IPs available, especially in Taiwan. Crucially, whether the IPs were ethically sourced.
Ethically sourced. What does that mean in this context?
It generally means the IPs come from users who have knowingly consented to their IP being used this way, often through apps or services where they agree in exchange for something, like an ad-free experience, not from malware or anything shady.
Okay, that seems important. What else?
Reliability, naturally. Connection stability and speed. Also, how precisely you can target the location, like just Taiwan or maybe a specific city.
Yeah.
And finally, customer support quality. They wanted the whole package.
Makes sense. All right, let's hear it. Who made the cut in this 2025 ranking?
Okay, so the article lists 5. First is Decodo, which you might know by its old name, Smart Proxy.
Right, Decodo. What is the source like about them?
Massive IP pool, over 125 million globally. But specifically for Taiwan, they highlighted really high uptime, like 99.99%, and fast response times, under half a second. They offer city-level targeting in Taiwan, residential and mobile types, and the source noted they emphasize ethical sourcing.
Sounds solid, easy to use.
Yeah, they mentioned things like 24/7 chat support, user-friendly setup, and even a 14-day money-back guarantee. Basically, the article picked them for having a huge number of reliable IPs in Taiwan, plus being easy to get started with, a strong all-rounder.
Okay, who's next?
Next up, Oxy Labs. Even bigger network mentioned here, over 177 million global IPs, again with strong Taiwan coverage. The source really emphasized their ethical procurement methods.
Okay, ethics again. What types do they offer?
Residential, ISP, and data center. The article positioned them as particularly good for really demanding stuff, heavy web scraping, analyzing search engine results pages, complex tasks needing precise geo-targeting. They mentioned enterprise readiness, scalability, even using AI for data quality.
So, more for the heavy-duty user, perhaps.
Seems that way. The source chose them for that huge ethical network and their ability to handle tough, large-scale operations reliably.
Got it. Number 3.
Webshare.io. The article highlights their significant IP pool too, 30 million residential, over 500,000 data center and ISP IPs, covering 195 countries including Taiwan. They noted good uptime, especially 99.97% for their data center proxies.
And what's their main selling point, according to the source?
Affordability and reliable performance seem to be the key combo. Good for scraping, SEO, even AI development. But the real standout mentioned was their free tier, offering 10 free proxies. That makes them super accessible if you're just starting out or have minimal needs.
A free tier is always attractive. Okay, who's fourth?
Bright Data. This one was described as having an industry-leading global network, 150 million IPs, ethically sourced, strong Taiwan options.
What makes them industry-leading in the article's view?
They offer all 4 main proxy types: residential, data center, ISP, and mobile, plus super granular targeting, country, city, even ASN targeting, which is like targeting specific internet network blocks. Very precise.
Wow, okay, use cases.
The source mentioned AI, business intelligence, scraping, and they highlighted Bright Data's compliance standards and their unblocking technology, basically, tech designed to get data even from websites that actively fight proxies. They seem positioned as a high-tech, versatile solution for complex data needs with a strong ethical commitment.
Sounds powerful. And the final one.
Last on the list is Rayobyte. Network size mentioned, over 36 million residential, 400,000 plus static IPs, good global coverage for Taiwan access.
Any specific highlight for Rayobyte?
Yes, the article really spotlighted their EWDCI certification for ethical sourcing. It's a specific standard ensuring IPs come from consenting users, which the source seemed to value highly for ethical data practices.
So another strong ethical angle. Performance.
Yeah. Mentioned low latency, high performance across all the main types, Resi, ISP, DC, mobile. And they apparently process a huge amount of data, over 20 petabytes a month, which suggests serious scale. The article framed them as chosen for that strong ethical commitment combined with diverse, high-performance options and a focus on helping customers succeed with their projects.
Wow, okay. That's quite a rundown. It really drives home the point from the article that there isn't just one best provider, is there?
Not at all. It clearly depends on your specific needs, like the article suggests. Are you prioritizing the absolute biggest pool? Or maybe top-tier ethical guarantees? Or is budget the main driver? Or perhaps you need that unblocking tech for tricky sites.
Yeah, different strengths for different jobs.
Exactly. The source does a good job mapping those provider strengths to the kinds of tasks we talked about earlier.
So let's try and wrap this up. What's the core takeaway from this deep dive into the source material?
I think the main thing is Taiwan proxies are really powerful, versatile tools if you need to operate digitally as if you're in Taiwan, whether that's for accessing content, gathering business intel, whatever. There are different types, each suited for different things: residential for stealth, data center for speed, ISP as a balance, mobile for that specific perspective. And this particular source points to providers like Decodo, Oxylabs, WebShare, Bright Data, and Rayobyte as leading the pack in 2025, but for slightly different reasons, highlighting scale, ethics, performance, or accessibility.
And breaking it down like this hopefully gives you, our listener, a much clearer picture, quickly cutting through some of the noise around choosing these kinds of services. You get the gist without having to read the whole dense article.
Right. And it actually leaves me with a final thought, building on something the article kept mentioning.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Well, the source repeatedly brings up using these proxies for data collection, specifically for things like AI and business intelligence, and it puts a lot of weight on ethical sourcing as a key criterion for picking a provider.
Yeah, that came up several times.
So it makes you think, with AI and data-driven decisions becoming so central to, well, everything, doesn't the ethics of how we gather that initial data using tools like proxies become more than just a technical detail? Isn't it actually a fundamental question about the trustworthiness and the entire future direction of the information and technology we're building? Something to chew on, maybe.